You know, I love that the first film, Inside Out, kind of showed us the importance of embracing sadness. It was kind of a profound idea at the time because, yeah, I think a lot of us grew up being told, like, don't be sad. And, you know, for Inside Out 2, what I love about this is we get the chance to expand that and to explore other new emotions that are a little bit more complicated, like anxiety, for example. And we get to wrestle with, like, what do you do with that emotion? Is embrace anxiety the right message? I don't know if it is. And so we got the chance to really explore, like, how does one wrestle with anxiety and what's the best way to do that and what are the tools in order to try to handle that?
I mean, really, that's something that Pete Docter decided. He's our chief creative officer at the studio and the director on the original film. And, you know, these movies are really hard just to make one. And that was his intention of making the first one. Make that as great as it can, put a nice little bow on it, and send it off into the world, and then move on to the next thing, which is what he did. But that one kept coming back. People kept stopping him and saying how meaningful it was. And how much they loved it. And that got him thinking, as it kept happening. He's like, I think there might be something else here. There might be a potential. And that's where I came in, and he met with me and told me the same thing. And he's like, I don't have a pitch as to what we could do, but I think you'd be a good person to go off and think of what we could potentially do. And the great thing about working with Pixar is that we wouldn't tell another story in Riley's life unless we had a really good reason to do it. Riley is 13 in this movie. She's officially a teenager and everything that comes along with it, which is a lot of change. And what is she really passionate about? Definitely hockey. We really leaned into hockey in this particular film. One, because it's really unique kind of perspectives. You don't really get to see a lot of that in film, especially from a teenage girl playing the sport. I think that's what a lot of people really liked about the first film. But it's also at that age in which sports kind of changes. You know, when you're a kid, you kind of automatically make the team. But this time of life, you actually have to try out and get cut. And I remember going through that, and it's really hard. And so we wanted to kind of put that in the film, which causes Riley to have a lot of anxiety over that and a lot of pressure to actually achieve and do great at the sport that she really loves.
So the great Kensington Talman is the voice of Riley Anderson in this movie. The first film, it was Caitlin Diaz, but because that was 9 years ago and she was age 11, I think that puts her in her mid-20s by now. And we wanted to have an actress that would sound like a 13-year-old. And so we worked with our casting team to dig deep into finding a group of great actresses to look into and listen to see who would have a great voice that kind of sounded like the Riley from the first film. It had similar vocal qualities, but that was also just a great actress and that would bring a lot of appeal to that character. And we found that in Kensington, who's amazing.
She's also amazing at making friendship bracelets. Which
is that where you got that one?
I'm wearing right now. She actually made one for a lot of us on the crew, including the actresses that play her best friends in the movie, Grace and Bree. She made friendship bracelets for everybody on one of our records.
So many reasons to love Kensington. Riley's core emotions. So yes, joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust are her core five that we all got to know and love in the first film. But man, change comes into town when her puberty alarm goes off in this film. Wrecking ball comes through the window. Construction crew comes in doing demolition on headquarters. Then all bets are off. They find out that that is happening because of the others. What others, Joy asks? That's the new emotions that are coming on to kind of help Riley through this teenage phase in her life. And that ends up being envy, ennui, embarrassment, and leading the charge, anxiety.
I love our cast. I remember Jonas Rivera, who's the producer on the original film, told me, you're inheriting a wonderful cast of people. not only they're really good at what they do, but they're really fun, and they're just genuinely great people. And
Yes.
Starting with Louis Black, he's fantastic. He's so funny, and he can bring the essence of anger.
It could be the most perfect casting that's ever happened in the history of casting.
It's true. It's true. Fantastic. And Phyllis Smith playing Sadness. What a lovely human being.
Oh, man.
I
Love
loved
Phyllis.
every time we got a chance to go to record with her. And such a wonderful, sweet, sweet character. And Amy Poehler, of course, returning as Joy. What a wonderful
Brilliant.
actress!
Brilliant.
Yeah, I remember telling Pete Docter, who's the director on the original film, I don't know how you didn't work with Amy once and then put her in everything you've done ever since then, because she's so wonderful, both in what she does, but just as a person. And man, are we excited with Tony and Lisa in this movie, playing Fear and Disgust. Tony just feels like he was born to play the character of Fear. He embodies it so
He can
well.
freak out with the best of them.
Yeah. And he's a real friend of the studio, working with him on Toy Story 4.
Forky in Toy Story 4.
Such a lovely human being and incredibly funny. And Lisa, my goodness, I loved working with Lisa. She is so... she does a lot of dramatic roles, but every once in a while she gets to do comedy, but not enough, in my opinion, because she's hilarious.
She's very funny.
And I loved every moment that we got a chance to record with her. Such a talented actress.
Yeah, so we'll start with Ennui, we loved the idea of having it be a French character, because it's a French word, and we loved wanted it to be a sophisticated character that could speak 2 languages, and we found the great Adele Exarchopoulos to play that role. And thanks to our casting department and a deep dive into French actresses, we really wanted someone that was going to bring authentic French to this role, not someone doing what Americans think French people sound like.
Yeah.
We wanted Adele to bring herself
Yeah.
and her incredible voice. She's got this beautiful deep register
Yeah.
to her voice that just worked so well with this character design and just the emotion itself. So we love Adele. For Envy, we've got the great Io Adebari, who most people know from The Bear, but she's a brilliant stand-up comedian, writer, producer, so talented. And she brought just an amazing gift of comedy and some dramatic flair to the character of Envy. She's small, she's got the big eyes, she wants what everybody else has, and Io was able to really dig deep and tap into that in a very funny and charming way. Paul Walter Hauser is our embarrassment.
Yeah.
Probably the strangest of all recording sessions that we've had for him and for us, because it's a character that doesn't speak. It was 3.5 hours of vocalizations. Paul being given, here Kelsey would say, here's what you would be saying if you were brave enough to talk, but you're not. And he would have to do it in sounds, and it was great, and it was a lot of work, and everyone was exhausted by the end of that session.
It was an interesting acting exercise for him.
Yeah, brilliant. Love Paul Walter Hauser. And then, Anxiety is my hawk. We listened to a lot of voices. We auditioned multiple actresses for this role. But Maya just brings just a beautiful humanity to that character, and also is just rapid fire in her ability to deliver dialogue.
Yeah.
She thinks and talks so quickly, and it matched perfectly with what we wanted out of the emotion of Anxiety. So we're thrilled about Maya. We got to explore new areas of the mind that weren't explored in the first film, and we got to set aside personality islands and set aside core memories and actually find something new and hopefully really deep to talk about in this. And I think tapping into beliefs in your belief system and like what you believe to be true about yourself and how that impacts how you see yourself, and then how that in turn impacts your behavior and how you act based on how you see yourself.
Yeah.
And it was a very challenging concept for us to find a way to visualize in a clear way, but the team really rallied, And a lot of people pour themselves into coming up with a great solution, and we love the belief system and the sense of self.
Yeah, and I really hope that people take away the fact that they aren't alone with what they're thinking and feeling. I certainly felt that at Riley's age. I think a lot of us do. It's when you start to become really self-conscious about yourself, because you're stepping out, you're learning how to shift from being taken care of to taking care of yourself. And I kind of really understood that's why we push away our parents and caregivers at this age, because you need to learn how to take care of yourself. And so part of that, we're social creatures and need each other to survive. So fitting in is kind of based off of our own survival instincts that we have. And so you can be really critical of yourself, and it can tip too far. And I've certainly have had that, especially when I was that age. And I really felt like I was the only one thinking and feeling things, and I felt really alone. And I really could have used a movie like this when I was that age to tell me it's okay, and you aren't alone, and you're going to be all right.